everyone! Come back with me at TAEKOOK Velvet, a home for you lovers of Taekook's iconic dynamics. Don't forget to prepare your snacks, because today we will discuss something really fun. Stay tuned! The Hollywood world knows one of the most loyal names to BTS, Jimmy Fallon. Over the years, Jimmy is not just a host for them, he is the bridge, best friend, and #1 fan. However, in the last year, the atmosphere at the NBC studio began to feel different. Observant fans are beginning to realize the existence of a worrying pattern. Did Jimmy Fallon start doing the golden child game? Why is it that every time Jungkook appears, the red carpet seems to be held wider, while Taehyung's presence feels like a visual compliment? Tonight, we are not just talking about a television interview. We are talking about industrial politics, hidden body language, and a big question that splits the internet. Did Jimmy Fallon really choose a side? Let's start with the most striking fact. Since Jungkook launched his solo project, Golden, Jimmy Fallon seems to have turned into Magne's personal public relations. Notice how Jimmy greets Jungkook. Longer hugs, louder laughter, and almost unreasonable compliments. Many argue that this is just professional support. But, pay attention to Jimmy's body language. He constantly sought eye contact with Jungkook, touched his arm, and provided a much wider space for conversation. Is this because Jungkook is the new money machine for The Tonight Show rating? Or is Jimmy really obsessed with Jungkook's charisma that he forgets the ethics of a host who should be neutral? We have to ask, where is the position of the other members when the spotlight is only focused on one point? Then, what about Taehyung? V is a man with a visual that can stop the heartbeat of millions of people. However, in Jimmy Fallon's guest seat, his presence is often muted. Why in some group interviews, the camera more often captures Jungkook's reaction when Jimmy jokes, rather than capturing Taehyung's smile? There is an iconic moment that becomes a debate in international forums. When Jimmy gave exorbitant praise to Jungkook's vocals, the camera captured Taehyung's expression for 0.5 seconds. It was not an angry expression, but the expression of an artist who felt invisible. Does the Western industry, including Jimmy, only value talent that fits their pop standards and ignore the artistic depth brought by Taehyung? This imbalance began to trigger the anger of fans who felt that their idols were only used as a display to attract spectators. There are small moments where they seem to strengthen each other, as if they know there is a game going on. Wild speculation appears. Is there any instruction from the label to highlight one member more for the sake of the American market strategy? If it's true, then Jimmy Fallon is just a pawn in the big chess of the music industry. However, Taehyung's reaction that often chooses to be silent and observe, gives a signal that there is a real tension that cannot be covered by the television's fake laughter. Don't get me wrong, this choose love is not without a reason. Jimmy Fallon is a media strategist. He knew that by appearing partisan, he was creating conflict. And conflict creates interaction. Taehyung's fans will watch many times to protest, Jungkook's fans will watch to celebrate, and in the midst of it all, The Tonight Show's ratings soar high. We are all being played by algorithms. Jimmy uses our love for BTS to create a rivalry narrative that may not actually be wanted by the members. This is a business of trillions of rupiah where sincere friendships are often sacrificed for an additional million likes. In the end, did Jimmy Fallon really choose a side? Evidence shows that there is a strong bias, whether it is for personal reasons or business demands. However, one thing that Hollywood cameras can't destroy is the bond between Jungkook and Taehyung. They may be treated differently in front of Jimmy Fallon's lens, but outside the studio, they are still brothers. The question is now back to you: will you continue to let the Western media pit our favorite members? We have to go deeper into the most provocative area: body language. Experts mention that the direction of a person's body determines who they value the most in a room. In the Subway Olympics segment, pay attention to Jimmy's standing position. He almost always leans towards Jungkook. Now, look at the interaction between Jungkook and Taehyung under the pressure of Jimmy's camera. There are small moments where they seem to strengthen each other, as if they know there is a game going on. Wild speculation appears: is there any instruction from the label to highlight one member more for the sake of the American market strategy? If it's true, then Jimmy Fallon is just a pawn in the big chess of the music industry. However, Taehyung's reaction, that often chooses to be silent and observe, gives a signal that there is a real tension that cannot be covered by the television's fake laughter. Don't get me wrong, this choose love is not without a reason. Jimmy Fallon is a media strategist. He knew that by appearing partisan, he was creating conflict. And conflict creates interaction. Taehyung's fans will watch many times to protest, Jungkook's fans will watch to celebrate, and in the midst of it all, The Tonight Show's ratings soar high. We are all being played by algorithms. Jimmy uses our love for BTS to create a rivalry narrative that may not actually be wanted by the members. This is a business of trillions of rupiah where sincere friendships are often sacrificed for an additional million likes. In the end, did Jimmy Fallon really choose a side? Evidence shows that there is a strong bias, whether it is for personal reasons or business demands. However, one thing that Hollywood cameras can't destroy is the bond between Jungkook and Taehyung. They may be treated differently in front of Jimmy Fallon's lens, but outside the studio, they are still brothers. The question is now back to you: will you continue to let the Western media pit our favorite members? Or do you see what I see, that Jimmy Fallon has crossed the limits of his professionalism? Write down other evidence that you found in the comment column. Don't be afraid to voice your opinion, because in this channel, no voice is muffled. I'm TAEKOOK Velvet, and see you in the next hot analysis.